Okay, so I know I haven't played this Roblox game before, and I also know that I haven't posted in uh on this channel in almost fully 4 years. um, but this is just such a historic moment, and an accomplishment in this game that I felt like I had to post it somewhere. Um, and what platform to post it on than my channel, which has 3,500 subscribers on YouTube, that is slowly declining. But anyway, um, uh, yeah, your eyes do not deceive you. I have conquered the entire world as Antarctica, and um, so the weakest nation in the game used to be the well, at least according to the ranking system, which is based off of population and economy and income and military, um, all that fun stuff. But the weakest nation in the game used to be the Cook Islands before the update that added Antarctica as a country. So the Cook Islands is this thing. It's capital of Avarua. Um, no idea if I'm pronouncing that right, but so yeah, the reason the Cook Islands is the weakest nation in the game is because it has the fewest people of any nation, basically. And like when you're starting off in like a new server just as a blank slate, the none of the countries have any policies or military, well, obviously because nobody's been here to mess things up yet. But so no countries have any. The ranking system basically is not based on anything other than um, well, it's not based on anything other than people. Uh, um, but yeah, the biggest nations like the U.S., Brazil, and Japan, they start as democracies, and then like I think India might, yeah, India I think starts as a democracy, and then like countries like North Korea and Cuba, I think are the only two communist countries that start the game, and then I'm pretty sure China's socialist or maybe communist. I think it's socialist, but anyway, um, just I think it's incredibly momentous that the weakest nation in the game conquered the entire world. And maybe people have already done this, but I don't think many people have done what I have done here, and that is so basically I started at I fell asleep at like 1 a.m. my time, and then I woke up at like 7 a.m. And yeah, that means I got 6 hours of sleep. Don't worry about it. um, but yeah, so yesterday I started the game at like in the early afternoon, like 3 or something, and then I played it until 1 a.m. And here I am the day after. And when I left at like 1 a.m., the world had like 13 billion people. So already well past the 7.9 billion, coming on 8 billion that we have in the world today. Um, and I have 47.8 billion people, so that's a fair amount of growth. um, the the population changed when at 1 a.m. when I started. Well, no, when I right before I fell asleep was like 2.2 million, and now it's 10.5 billion. Um, so yeah, just outrageous. Like, if the world had 48 billion people, I mean, um, we, I mean, I feel like we'd probably find a way to, well, actually, you know what? No, no, climate change would just get way out of hand, and we'd just die, or population would be severely crippled. Um, but yeah, no. So it's a hyper realistic game up until the point where it's kind of not. But so yeah, basically I have enough like um consumer goods, and like people join the game every now and then, just to just because it's one of the latest servers in the game. This is like 22, 23, and it starts off in 2020. So this game's been going on for 200 years. Anyway, um, like if so in this game, if you sort the servers by years, by year, um, this um, this particular server is probably going to be like, um, I don't know. I haven't left the server, so I don't know what position it's at. But it's probably in the top 10 latest servers in the game, just because like servers aren't supposed to last this long, as evidenced by the fact that the Earth has 50 billion people. um, but yeah, so I constantly have people. Yes, I did. Um, the so yeah, I constantly have people coming in and you know checking in because it's a very late server. Like um, most servers, like the thing is the amount of people playing on the server kind of drops off around like 2030. And that's how I found this server. I started at like yeah, 2040. Yeah, is when I started playing as Antarctica, and yeah, I did the whole thing from scratch. I am the only, you know, you can, well, oh, there was like, there was a guy that took over very, very briefly for like a month and a half in like 100 years ago. I think that was when I accidentally that was when I accidentally left the game, and at that point I thought I lost the server at that point because I didn't think there was anybody else on it. But yeah, apparently some guy was just playing as me, playing as Antarctica for like a month and a half, and like he probably wanted to see he probably wanted to see how the server was doing and like what the populations were, something, curious guy. Um, but yeah, apart from that, you can see that I am the only player that has ever been Antarctica. So there you go. I started the entire thing from scratch. When I started, I literally just had Antarctica, and then I took over New Zealand, and then Madagascar, and then like sub-Saharan Africa, and then Argentina, Chile, Patagonia, as it's known in geography lingo. Um, and then I took over the rest of South America, and then North America, and then I took over the European Union, and then yeah, worked my way over to Asia, and then India, and then I wrapped up over here in like the Middle East and the Sahel, and then finally because like this one guy who was the Pacific Federation ceded me all this land because he's sympathetic to my cause. um, uh, Good God, Australia has 500 million people. I'm thinking I'll leave after I get 50 billion or maybe 100 billion if it doesn't take too long. But yeah, my last nation symbolically was New Zealand that I conquered. Because I had to cede New Zealand to the Pacific Federation. I had to cede New Zealand to the Pacific Federation to make him get as formable. Um, but yeah, New Zealand was my last country that I conquered, and I have the entire world now, and I have for 100 years. um, yeah, it's just New World Order as Antarctica, and I think like the other good thing about being Antarctica is that no one country is given like the the lion's share of the power. Like, the, I mean, you could say that Antarctica is given the lion's share of the power, but it has like 1,600 people. And I accidentally like scorched my capital McMurdo, and that's why it doesn't have as many people as it would otherwise. So like, it used to have 1,713 people, and now it only has 1,641. But yeah, don't worry about it. Um, but yeah, Antarctica isn't. It's not. It shouldn't be a country. It doesn't have a permanent population. Like, only scientists, quote unquote, live on it, and it's only for research purposes. Like, nobody genuinely lives on Antarctica, at least for now. That might change with uh, like 100 years down the road with climate change. But I don't know, maybe there'll be patches of Antarctica that will be habitable. Hopefully not. But the yeah, 100% stability with a 118.8% goal, so maximum population growth possible. And to ensure that I have the maximum population growth possible, I have um, uh, as many consumer goods as I can possibly make, which I'm making 50,000 excess consumer goods just to be on the safe side, which is enough for an extra 51 billion people. And I can make more consumer goods easily, like than 50 billion. Um, like, yeah, I can make at least 200 more factories, which is going to be like 54,000 uh or yeah, 56,000, somewhere around there. Like, I'm just doing this in my head, like 56,000. So like 150 billion people. Yeah, I guess that part is realistic, because, well, no, that because there's now I don't know how much people the Earth can theoretically support, but I'm my guess is that we're nowhere near the limit, because there's poverty right now, but that's only because like the rich nations are hogging all the resources, and we can't we don't know how to share resources for the life of us. But yeah, anyway, I have enough resources on consumer goods right now, and those are supposedly things like iPhones and food and cars and just your standard day-to-day life things that you need to survive. iPhones are essential to life on Earth as we know it. um, I mean, I have a Samsung, but that's beside the point. But yeah, I had to make a lot of consumer factories, civilian factories, to get as many as I have. And I also need to be communist, and I need to have all these policies in place, which most forced labor for dissidents, resource output 50%, factory output 40%, and Public Service Act, factory output 20%, resource output 20%. That helps me bolster the amount of consumer goods I can put out. Basically, it also helps with all this other stuff, but mainly I just want consumer goods to support my ever-growing population. What else is there? Oh yeah, Tokyo has like 520 million people. Like, because all the cities have this basic population growth formula, and like countries that have already reached their peak population, like Japan, that are going to start declining, that a lot of countries that are like, I think like you can't stuff 100 million more people into Japan. I mean, maybe if you cut down all the trees, but like, I think it's basically reached its limit. But not in this game, because Japan. Let me just check 1 second. Japan has 1.32 billion people. So like 10 times what it has today. So needless to say, that's I don't think it would be able to support that many people in real life, but this is Rise of Nations Roblox, so we can do that. But yeah, there are also some pretty big cities on here, like Mexico City, 388 million billion. It doesn't really matter at this point. Manila has almost 200 million. Mumbai 300 million. Delhi like 262 million. Dhaka 330 million. I could go on. Like, basically just take your just take the military break. Come on, guys. Do I really need to prove my military for you? I conquered the whole world. There's no point in having a military, which, by the way, I don't have a military anymore. But anyway, I could go on about the populations of cities. Just take one city, and just take your city today and just multiply it by 10. And that's the population of your new city in this game. Portland, 33 million people. Horrible. I can only imagine you thought the Portland riots today were bad, but imagine what they're like with 10 times the population. But yeah, Los Angeles, I can't even see Los Angeles under all these suburbs that have grown to be 1 million people. Where is it again? Okay, Los Angeles, 208 million people. And let's see, the entire area has, oh my god, it has 500 million people. Yeah, they must have figured out desalinization or some weird crap, because there's, yeah. if you just plopped 500 million people in the Los Angeles area today, they'd run out of water so quickly. Like, it's not even funny. But yeah, it's the future, so I'm sure we figured out a way to get 50 billion people on this hellish planet. Um, but yeah, this is as far as I'm concerned, I've never seen anybody do this before. Turn Keep their computer on overnight to keep this to keep a 200-year-old server alive. But yeah, this is what it looks like when you conquer the world as Antarctica or any nation, and just leave it on for 100 years. But yeah, more you know. I'm probably gonna release the countries pretty soon, just because um, I mean, not that I can't support more people, because I can support like 100 billion people, but it's um I can only keep the server alive for so long. I mean, nothing lasts forever. But like Dr. Seuss said, d- uh, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. And in Tiananmen Square's uh, case, don't cry because it's over, smile because it didn't happen. It never happened. Nothing happened at Tiananmen Square in 1989. It was totally just a normal day. Um, but yeah, anyway, so yeah, thanks for uh, watching the first video I posted in 4 years.